Alright, battlers, I've got a special video for you today. This is New Year's Eve, the last day of 2019, and we are going on into 2020. I want to talk about my year in Pokemon Go. I want to talk about my top goals, the top things I'm excited for in both Pokemon Go and Pokemon Go PvP, the Silph Arena, the YouTube channel, everything else. So I definitely hope you'll stick around. This is a kind of a different video than you're used to seeing, but I'll try to overlay some battle footage as well to keep it entertaining. So yeah, first off, I just want to say thank you for watching, for liking, and for commenting. You guys are the reason I'm in this at all, and I couldn't do it without you. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So I wanted to make a recap in my year in Pokemon Go for 2019. So I'll just keep my story pretty brief. I know a lot of you guys are more interested in the battles than anything else, but I will say my story might appeal to some people, so I will lay it out here. When Boulder Cup was announced, I didn't participate. I didn't know exactly what the platform was. I didn't know what the Silph Arena really was about, but I recognized that it brought a lot of structure to Pokemon Go PvP because previously I just played with one local guy, and we played one Great League match, one Ultra League match, and one Master League match to get our achievements, to get our rewards for the day, and then we called it a night. And Silph Arena I recognized was going to be important, but I didn't know what Niantic's plans were and if it was going to be made obsolete in a short amount of time, or if it was going to grow, or if people were going to like it. So I guess I wasn't an early adopter. I was more of a, I forget what the term is in marketing, but I joined the wave much later. So my first cup was actually Kingdom Cup, and it was one of my favorite cups. I finally got the guts to go out there to an in-person tournament. I had sat on the bench for the first, I guess, 4 cups, and kind of watched how the meta unfolded. I played around with some teams, and I kind of maybe did a couple of scrims here and there, but I was still more committed to grinding Stardust and playing the game in the same way that a lot of other trainers play it. So I went to Kingdom Cup, and I had a lot of success. I mean, I went 4-1, and I eventually lost in the championship to Tampa's future first ace for season 1, Lyndon Ryu. He beat me there. He had Frostlass, and at the time I was still working on my typings and everything, and I didn't know how to deal with Frostlass. So Lyndon got me there, and it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my first in-person tournament. I think what separates our community from a lot of other competitive communities is that everybody is so supportive. When I went to the tournament, when I won the game, my opponent shook my hand. You know, we fist bumped, whatever, and we just talked about strategies, and it was all very relaxed. You didn't have anybody throw their phone or, you know, accuse you of cheating or try to, you know, get angry or argue with you. It was all very, very copacetic, and that was one of my favorite parts about it. I don't think you can find that in other communities, in other gaming, competitive gaming communities, and I think that's one unique thing that makes Pokemon Go PvP so different from everything else, because everybody, before PvP, it was all collaborative. You had to get together to raid, you had to get together to lure out Pokestops, you had to get together to, you know, grind Stardust or whatever it was, and that community aspect carried over onto PvP, and I think it's just a beautiful, very unique thing that you're not going to see in a lot of other communities, and it makes us really stand out, and it should help us to grow the community as a whole. So after Kingdom Cup, I went to every cup after that. Jungle Cup was the worst cup of my life. I lost an insane amount of battles in Jungle Cup. It was no fun, but it just goes to show you I had a really good handle on the Kingdom Cup meta, but then when it came to Jungle, for some reason, things just didn't click for me. So ups and downs, as always. And then I remember I had a couple of friends who were going to Go Fest, and one of them said that I could crash at his place for $50, and it just totally flipped my perspective, because I didn't have the money to go. I know a lot of people who are in their early 20s don't have the funds to go and travel across the country to Chicago, but I was gifted a ticket by a friend, and then I was offered a place to stay by a friend, and because of that very kind, open-armed community, I was able to go. And going to Pokemon Go Fest was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I competed in that Open Rainbow tournament, and I didn't know that he would be such a big member of Go Stadium, but I played against Quirts, which was so much fun. I played against a lot of other elite trainers who, I know one trainer used a very spicy team. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name at the moment, but totally kicked my butt. and I actually got to play against Shmoshev. I don't know if that's how you say his name or not, but the eventual North American World Champion. We actually ran into each other in the Open Go Battle League that was going on there at GoFest, and I played him. So it was just, GoFest really brought the community together in a way that I had not seen before, and a lot of people were signed up for that Open Rainbow tournament, but I know this year is going to be even bigger. I definitely think PvP is going to be a huge part of GoFest going forward, and I just cannot wait to get back there next year. I definitely plan on going with the same group of friends because it was just such a wonderful experience. And if you're able to go, maybe just put away a little bit of savings every week, every month. I know that might frustrate some people because it might be out of their realm of possibility, but if you're on the fence about going and you don't know whether you should or not, I definitely recommend it. Chicago was very easy to navigate. I landed in the airport by myself. I got on the train by myself. I got to the hotel by myself. All you need is a cell phone with maps on it and to maybe plot out your trip a little bit in advance, and everything is really easy to find. No reason to be afraid. It was a fun trip coming all the way from Florida to Chicago, but I definitely recommend it. And then after GoFest, witnessing the World Championships there, that standing out in the rain in Chicago on the street corner when they finished up that championship was just so nuts. Seeing all these other YouTube stars walking around at the event, it was just so surreal. I definitely recommend that you go to GoFest this year because PvP is going to be even bigger there. But after that, came back to Florida, continued to try to get better. Played a few cups. We got our off season after Mirror Cup, which was nice. I still think off season could have been a little bit longer just so we could store up our dust, but I know Silph Arena did not want to lose momentum and they wanted to keep pushing forward. So definitely so thankful for everything Silph Arena has given us. It gave structure to PvP where there was not, and Niantic is a very slow moving company, and I think eventually they get it right, but it's going to take them a long time. I mean, it's taken them over a year to come out with Go Battle League, so Niantic moves slow. They're trying to extend the longevity of the game, and I get it, because if you release too many features too fast, you might run out of room to run in terms of new development. So I get it. It's what the company does. But and then I started doing my YouTube channel. I think after regionals is when I made my first video, and I just sat on my bed with my computer and I airdropped all of my footage into my computer, and I held my phone in my face and I just talked about what happened. And that was essentially how I did my first video. And since then, I've gotten a microphone, a cheap little thing with, I think it was like $35, and a pop filter and a little mic stand. And I'm still using my computer with AirDrop, and it's just worked for me really well. And I started making videos, got a little more serious about Rainbow Cup, and then really started to try to hammer it once this new season started, and it's just gone incredibly well. I mean, I'm blown away every single day that anybody cares, anybody wants to watch the videos. It just, I don't know what to say. It just really blows me away. I'm so thankful. There are so many people I'd like to thank, probably way too many to name right here, but I will say I really am so appreciative of my local community for really supporting me early on. I mean, these were friends that I told them I started uploading videos, and they immediately shared them with their friends, and they watched them, and they liked them, and they gave me comments down in the comment section down below. And as you know, with the YouTube algorithms, getting a strong base is one of the hardest things. I think there are a lot of great, outstanding content creators that haven't gotten off the ground because they didn't have grassroots support that found their channel early on and supported them throughout the growth stage and really helped them to hit that plateau where they can grow into the wider market. And because of my local friends, I really was gifted that, and I was able to do that a lot more easily than a lot of other people would. I don't think my content is that great. Every time I publish a video, I think it's garbage, but I think that's just the critical creator in me that sees it that way. But I'm just so incredibly thankful that early on people saw the videos and they thought they were good and they enjoyed them and they shared them. So thank you, Tampa Bay Pokemon Go community, for being so supportive from early on and until this day. Still some of my biggest fans and friends, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Without all of my Scrim partners, there would definitely be no content to post. So I have to thank all of my Ultra friends, definitely my local friends and my friends from across the world. I have one friend over in Malaysia who is just a very talented trainer. We battle all the time. And then all of my friends here in the United States are extremely talented as well. I've been extremely blessed to build friendships with a lot of really good trainers who push me to my limit in a lot of ways. And let me say this as well. When you play against a strong player and get your butt kicked repeatedly, obviously it can be frustrating. You don't really know what to do after you've been beaten 6-0 by Linden Ryu or Jangles or Kachina Mom or whoever it might be. But what you can do is you can review that tape, obviously after you've calmed down, because I know we all get frustrated in the moment, but you can review that tape and you can look back and say, well, I could have made this move here, I could have made this move there. I do think a big part of becoming a competitive player is reviewing that tape. So going on into 2020, I definitely want to make a lot of videos on how to identify mistakes, how to improve as a player, how to avoid certain situations where you put yourself at a disadvantage, and that's going to be one of my big focuses. If you'd like to see that content, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm thinking about bringing on some ace trainers and having them talk through some matches and kind of show what mistakes were made, how things could improve, and I think that if everybody saw that, it would make everybody a better player, and it would also make it more accessible for those trainers that are just getting started and they lose a lot of matches and they are kind of starting to lose interest. But if you show them maybe, okay, well, in this instance, you should have switched into your Whiscash and you should have bluffed with the Mud Bomb, etc., maybe people that see that will get more encouraged and they'll want to pick up the game and become competitive battlers. Because I think there's so many competitive battlers that we haven't even met. I think we are still in the first wave. Valorash, House Stark, Dat Boy Muck, all these trainers, Toshi, all these guys are just super elite trainers that are the first wave. And we're going to see a lot of trainers that we've never heard of, we've never seen, and they're going to pick up this game and they're going to master it. And it's just so exciting. Every time I see a new competitor that is just insanely good, I feel like Goku, I feel like I just need to fight this person. And even if I get my butt kicked, I learn. And I think that's one of the most important parts of this game. In terms of YouTube, I'd like to definitely thank Call Me Jake. He was one of the first people that I kind of got in contact with. He was getting started with his channel, and I asked if we could become friends in his comment section, and he was so gracious that he allowed for me to have that friend spot. We built some friendship and started playing, and even though he beats the crap out of me every single time we play because he's a freaking awesome trainer, he was one of the first people that gave me a real window into that YouTube content creator world. He kind of let me know how things are going through the growth stages, and yeah, I mean, Jake just did a lot for me in a lot of ways and helped me kind of see on the other side of things what it actually looks like to be a creator. I mean, I remember him working so hard on his videos, staying up late into the night, trying to publish daily is just such a rigor. I don't know how people like King IV do it. It's just inhuman, the amount of work that those guys put in, and I respect them all so much. But thank you, Jake, for giving me that friend slot, giving me that opportunity, and letting me kind of see behind the curtain what it looked like to grow a YouTube channel, and I could not have done this without you. So I wanted to outline a few things that I was really excited for in Pokemon Go for 2020. I think there's a lot to look forward to, trainers. It's going to be a huge year. I definitely think it is the year of PvP. We're going to see just so many incredible improvements. But the top 4 things I'm most excited for in Pokemon Go, number 1 has to be the TM rework. I mean, we have to change this, Niantic. I know you're listening. I know that you've listened to our community. When it comes to the battle mechanics and everything else in the past, you've been so gracious in really hearing us and adjusting the platform to try to make it the best it can be for the players. So I definitely think you're listening to the TM rework idea. I think a lot of trainers are voicing their opinions, and I know that you make a lot of money off the raids. People buy passes, they go do the raids, they get the charged TMs, but if you want widespread adoption of PvP, you have to eventually give in and change this, because it's just too expensive to keep hunting for TMs. It's too expensive to spend 5 TMs not getting the move that you want when you've done 5 raids to get them. It's just not sustainable for the future. So a TM rework where you can pick the charge move is coming. I know it is. I have full faith and confidence in Niantic. I don't think it's going to be as fast as we'd like, but I know it's inevitable, basically. If you want widespread adoption of PvP, that's something you have to do. Secondly is Stardust events. I mean, we cannot get enough Stardust. I think during the 3 times Stardust event earlier this year, I grinded something like 3 million, 4 million dust, and it's really carried me through. As a content creator, I need to power up a lot of Pokemon, test a lot of things, and get a lot of things ready for battle because people want to see these picks and how they perform. So for me in particular, Stardust is probably my most important asset. I know I think I'm hovering above 5 million right now, and I'm expected to spend at least 2 million on Fusion Cup. But I mean, Stardust is the most important thing. So 2 or 3 times Stardust bonuses are a must. I definitely think 3 is ideal, but especially with Go Battle League coming, you're going to have to invest in Ultra League and Master League Pokemon. And if you want widespread adoption of Pokemon Go PvP, you need to make Stardust accessible so that people can afford to power up their Pokemon. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's probably a little more important than the TM rework in terms of adoption, but I think Niantic will get that right as well. The third thing I'm most excited for in Pokemon Go in 2020 is GoFest 2020. I think we're going to see a huge PvP tournament there. I know King said he wanted 1,000 people to compete. I definitely think that's ambitious, but he's an ambitious guy, and ambition is what pushes us forward. A lot of visionaries have these audacious goals that sound really stupid crazy, but then in 2 to 3 years or however long it takes, maybe even 4 to 6 months, they happen. And it's because they recognize the potential and they recognize the upside, and I think that a 1,000 person tournament is a incredible goal. I think that's a great objective to try to hit, and if we even reach 500, that will smash all the previous records of any Mega Cup in history. So I definitely think it's going to happen. How big it will be, we'll see, but definitely Pokemon Go PvP is one of the most exciting aspects of GoFest 2020, and I can't wait to see what happens. The final thing that I'm most excited for is Go Battle League. This is going to bring so many trainers into PvP, and all of the groundwork that we've laid over the past year is going to be rewarded. You're going to have so many trainers that have never really battled getting into it, and like I alluded to before in my intro, or excuse me, I think it's another part of the video, you're going to have people that have never played pick up the game, and they're going to master it really quick, and you're going to see some really insane things, and I cannot wait for these new competitors to join us. It's what makes the community stronger, and we're going to see a lot of it. Go Battle League and Silph Arena. That's a question I've heard a lot. Will they make each other invalid? Are people going to do both? Are people going to do just one? My personal opinion is that Go Battle League is going to bring more people into Silph Arena than we've ever seen before. And the reason is because Pokemon Go moves pretty slowly. What we're going to see is, in my opinion, most likely what we're going to see is a very general open league kind of structure where people are going to do freestyle constantly, and those of us who have the top freestyle picks, Azumarill, Medicham, Skarmory, Altaria, etc., we're going to go in there and we're going to get pretty bored with it pretty quick, and a lot of other trainers are going to reach that point as well. It's kind of like, if you can imagine how PvP was before Silph Arena, how you would freestyle with your friends and eventually you got bored, and Silph Arena came in and said, okay, here's the meta, here are your picks, and everything got a lot more interesting. That's the feeling that I think millions of players are going to have. So if you're worried about Silph Arena, I don't think you should be. I think they're going to grow tremendously after this, and it's our job to help people get into the Silph Arena so we can gain more competitors, because we are trying to push this game to esports status, and more trainers, more competitors is the number one way to achieve that. So if your friends are interested in Go Battle League, help them, teach them. We are all so much further along than most, I guess the majority of people will be come 2020. So it is our job to mentor them into the next era of Pokemon Go PvP. And if you would like to see Go Battle League content on my channel, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you want me to cover. I know I am just like all of you. I'm eagerly awaiting to see how it develops, and I want to see what exactly should be covered and what's important, and that all depends on the structure of it. But if you want to see something in particular, let me know down in the comments below. I'm trying to pump out as many videos as possible next year. I want 2020 to be a huge year for content on the channel, so any and all ideas are appreciated. I always listen to you guys and try to reply to all of your comments whenever possible, so I really value your thoughts and I want to hear them. I have 4 things I'm very interested in for the Silph Arena. for 2020, I think the first thing is obviously that Orlando Mega Cup. Guys, that is in 19 days. I'm counting down the days. It's going to be so insane. I actually live in Tampa, Florida, an hour away from Orlando, and I'm one of the team members that is helping to set up the whole cup. So if you have any questions about the cup, about the structure, about where it's going to be, everything like that, you can always let me know down in the comments below. If you have questions, I will happily answer them. January 18th is going to be a huge day. We're going to have at least a 9-round cup. We're trying to get to 250 to 300 participants. I don't think we're going to be as big as LA, but I think we're going to get close. I think it will be the biggest cup on the East Coast to date. King IV is hosting it. He will be shoutcasting it live, so I will have the stream link for you whenever that is available. We have some very exciting partners for the cup as well, and I definitely think it's going to be an incredible time. So I'm highly excited for that. I'm going to get a ton of Fusion Cup practice in because the competitive part of me wants to go 9-0, and I will do my best, as I'm sure a lot of Florida trainers, a lot of top trainers are going to be trying their best as well. I mean, we've got people like For the Battles, Lemon Lime, the number 4 player in the world is coming as well. Arrow is going to be there. There's Valor Ash as well, who is making plans. I mean, this is going to be just crazy. It's a who's who of Pokemon Go PvP. And if you live in Florida or Georgia or any of the surrounding states and it's not too much of a trip for you, definitely come out and start 2020 with a bang. This is going to be the biggest cup on the East Coast ever, until somebody takes us and takes the crown away from us with a bigger number. But for 2020, this is the first Mega Cup, and we're going to kick it off the right way. This is going to be the year of PvP, and I am so extremely humbled and honored and excited to ring it in Orlando, in Florida, in my state where I live now. The second thing I'm most excited for is I'm going to try to travel to at least 2 other Mega Cups. I have some friends who went to Richmond and LA, and they said it was an incredible experience, and I definitely want to go to more Mega Cups. I feel like this is the wave that is growing our scene the quickest, and in order to be a part of that wave, you need to be at the Mega Cups. So I don't know where the next one's going to be held. It might be in New Orleans, it might be in Portland, it might be in some place that we haven't discussed yet, but February is definitely on my calendar. My family lives an hour from New Orleans, so if the cup is held there, I'm probably going to be there. We'll see what happens, trainers, but I definitely want to go to 2 Mega Cups. And then the third thing, speaking of Mega Cups, my goal with this channel for a long time, first has been to grow the PvP community in Tampa, but secondly is to shoutcast a Mega Cup. I definitely want to live shoutcast if possible. I'm working on my craft. Every single video I try to improve. I know my pacing can be a little bit fast, and I try to keep things interesting, so I'm constantly trying to hone my craft, and I hope one day I'm good enough to shoutcast a Mega Cup, and that would just be a dream come true. To be next to somebody like King or J Farm, or any of these guys that you've seen before, it would just be, or gals, girls at PvP freaking rock as well. It would just be amazing to sit next to one of those people and shoutcast it. I would just be so honored. And the last thing I'm excited for in terms of the Silph Arena, the competitive side of me really wants to reach Ace. I know I've got to win a lot of matches. My record isn't that great right now, so I definitely need to improve, as we are all constantly working to improve. But hitting that Ace status would really solidify my self-confidence as a battler. I know that I can win a few matches here and there, but just reaching that ranking would mean a lot to me, and I'm going to work very hard towards that, as I'm sure a lot of you are. So keep pounding, keep tapping, as Arrow would say. Keep going, guys, because you'll get there. And finally, my top 3 YouTube goals for 2020. The first one is reach 1,000 subs. I know that we are coming up on that pretty soon, and I have nobody that I want to thank more in the entire world than you who are watching right now, because it's you guys that come out and you watch the videos and you give me time out of your day. And it just, I'm really humbled every single time I see the views go up, because people are taking the time out of their busy day to watch the content. They care enough to see it. They think that maybe I can offer a couple of helpful things. And if I can do that, if I can give you a pick that maybe you'll enjoy using in your cup, or if I can show you the strength of something that kind of flips your opinion and makes you add it to your team, that really humbles me and gives me a lot of joy. So yeah, I can't thank anybody else but you, the viewer, for coming back every single time, watching the videos, leaving likes, leaving comments. It really means a lot to me. And we're coming up on that 1,000 subscriber goal. And once we hit that, we can monetize. So that goes on to number 3. But first, I want to mention the second thing I'm most excited for in 2020 for the YouTube channel, and that's collaborating with other Pokemon Go PvP YouTubers. People that I've started to build friendships with. I cannot wait to get you guys on the channel or hop on your channel. Any way that we can do something that helps to educate other trainers or helps to entertain or inform them, I am all about it. If you want to approach me about a collaboration, let's do it. I am 100% on board. I definitely think that collaborating with others helps to grow the platform in general. When you show that everybody is connected, it creates a really strong community vibe. I definitely think there are very few tribes in Pokemon Go. I think it is just one big community, and we should keep it that way. And collaborating with each other is a great way to do that. So I'm definitely looking forward to collaborating with some really prominent YouTubers in the future, and I will continue to try to do my best to make it a meaningful video. I definitely want to help as much as possible, and I think that's how we will all benefit in the long run. So if you want to collaborate and you are a YouTuber, reach out to me. I would love to do that. I would be so honored and so humbled every time a YouTuber and I start to build friendship. For example, I built friendship with Purple Kyogre this year, and it was just such an experience. I mean, I've been watching this guy's videos for over a year. He's senpai. I always watch his content. And he's the biggest reason I got into PvP YouTube videos in the first place. And without him paving the way, I would have no path for myself. So yeah, just extremely thankful for all of you guys. And thank you, Purple Kyogre, for everything you've done to grow the community. And I hope that we can continue to all grow it together. And the third thing I'm most excited for my YouTube channel is to make enough money from the channel to travel to these Mega Cups. So I know I mentioned going to 2 Mega Cups in 2020 and maybe shoutcasting one. I mean, that is, my pie in the sky goal. But I definitely think if I can make enough money from the YouTube videos to afford plane tickets, to afford hotel rooms, to afford a few extra incubators here and there, that would really it would validate so much of the work that I've done and will continue to do, because it means that, I'm able to actually earn something back from the time that I put into this. So yeah, I mean, I would just be, I know I've said humbled about 100,000 times in this video so far, but I just want to let you know, like, it really matters to me. Every time I post a video, I'm worried it'll flop, and every time I get views, I'm just so over the moon. So if I'm able to earn enough money to go to these Mega Cups, it will really make my year, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I just want to say thank you again for watching. I hope you'll come back for more videos. I know this wasn't a traditional video, but I just thought it was really important to express my gratitude to everybody for watching and let you know just how much it means to me. I hope you'll like this video. Leave me a comment down below. Talk about anything you want in Pokemon Go PvP. I mean, it can even be just Pokemon Go in general. Talk to me about what your goals are for next year. Talk to me about if you're going to Go Fest. Talk to me about what kind of events you want to see, what kind of shinies you want to catch. Let's just make it a really open discussion. I really want to hear from you guys, and I know you have a lot of holiday plans, and you're probably with family, or you're probably on the road for New Year's, but if you have the time, I would really appreciate it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and as always, if you want to see more videos in 2020, if you want to see more PvP action, hit that subscribe button, and I will keep the videos coming.